Had an opportunity this weekend to sit with a gentleman in the hospital and have a conversation, a really difficult conversation with him. In the same weekend, this weekend, had this amazing opportunity to meet up with an incredible group of guys that reminded me of several things, and I enjoy listening and being in conversation with them. But both of those things kind of brought me to a point of this topic and why I'm discussing this. One, mental health, I think, has given mental illness a really difficult and bad name. And mental illness is real. The struggle is that the term mental health is used in so many arenas and creating so many excuses in many ways for people to live a certain way. That if I am diagnosed with some form of mental health problem and you tell me what those symptoms are, I'm going to live those out and become a pro at them. We've talked about this before. But mental illness is a real thing. And this gentleman was struggling with some severe mental illness. And one of the things that he asked me as the chaplain in the hospital today was, why am I here? Why I just feel like shouldn't be here, don't want to be here anymore on earth, meaning ending his life. And what a difficult and big conversation. Difficult in the sense that, oh my gosh, this is huge. This is another human being feeling like he shouldn't be here. And he's asking me, why should I believe in God? And if there was a God, what's my purpose? And so he has a mental illness for sure that he struggles with. And so I'll talk a little bit about that conversation in just a moment. But what he reminded me of is, how can we find our purpose? What's even the steps to even thinking about that? And the truth of the matter is if we're lost in our purpose and lost in the idea, the question of it, many of us will struggle with just how to begin the process of learning what that is. And part of the problem there is that we live in this cycle, this life that is just dealing with difficult things, dealing with anxieties and stresses and depressions and all these difficult things. And at the same time, we become really comfortable with just living in this negative cycle in a space that doesn't really involve our purpose. And so then we go, well, then how do I find that out? That's what he's asking me. If I'm still here on purpose, how do I find out what that purpose is? And the first step in that, absolutely, that again was reminded me today with an amazing group of men, was that we need to understand who we are to begin with to find our purpose. We need to understand what are the roles that we want to have in our lives, the roles that we currently have and those that we want to get rid of versus those that we want to keep. What are the roles? The role of husband, the role of friend, the role of employee, the role of employer, the role of counselor, the role of teacher, the role of parent, the role of uncle, the role of brother, sister, whatever it may be. We need to understand all those roles and choose the roles that we want to keep, those things that we see ahead of us. What roles do we want to keep in our lives? And then we want to start getting really good at those roles. We also want to understand as we devise what is the best version of ourselves for our future, what are our values, what are our goals, what are the decisions that we want to make as part of those roles. And then as I get to understand who I am fully, understanding my roles and all the values and the likes and the decisions and all that stuff that's associated with those roles, at that point, I want to start plugging out to those roles. Not waiting for them to plug into me, because if I wait for things to plug into me, it may not be part of my purpose. And so if you're searching for what is my purpose, search first by understanding who you are fully. What are the roles that I want to play? Currently, what do I play in my life and around my life? What are the roles I want to get rid of versus the ones I want to keep? What roles do I want to keep in my life as the best version of myself? And then what are the values, the decisions, the likes, everything that's associated with those roles? What are those things so that I can understand who I am? And then when I understand who I am, at that point, can I plug out to those roles and begin to understand my true purpose? Man, if you are struggling with that, that is a big deal for sure. Big questions, difficult process, but there are sometimes what feels mechanical, but there are steps to understanding first what is the first step? What do I do first to even understand who I am so that I can understand my purpose? I appreciate all of you. If that's your thing, if you're figuring out your purpose, let's understand who you are to begin with, and then let's plug out to those roles to grab onto that purpose. God bless.